Hello, thank you for taking the time to join me. I am grateful, and if you're able to hear some noise in the background, that is because today is Sunday, and on Sunday it's church day, so there are churches all over, playing loud music and jumping and singing. So I'll use that to serve as my background music for this video. So if you're like me, you've probably been dealing with the problem of judging others. You're judging others harshly, either strangers or just the people that you know, all right? You look at their life and you can't help but find yourself judging. Sometimes, when I reflect and I look at what my mind has all of a sudden said about someone, I get shocked that, hey, why would I say something harsh like that to someone that I don't know? And so it's a very tricky challenge. And at one point of my life, I just say that, hey, if I want to advance, all right, if I want to get better at life, then this is something I have to get rid of, all right? At least, even if I cannot get rid of it, at least I can minimize, all right? Subconsciously, the reasons why we judge others, it's because it's a means of compensation. You compensate for the perceived shortfalls inside of you. Due to the shortfalls and the harsh ways that sometimes you even judge yourself, all right, based on your failures, you tend to look for the worst in others. By finding or seeing the worst in others, it makes you feel good about yourself. That is also sometimes the reasons why people fall into competition. But, that is not how it's supposed to be. While doing my self-reflections, I've often come to the conclusion that how we treat others is often a reflection of the experience that you're having with yourself. If internally you are having bad experiences, the inside is so dark and full of self-pity and horror, hatred, and so on and so forth. That internal world is an ugly world. It becomes more like a blockage to experience yourself much deeper. And as a result, if you don't take the time to do some internal reconciliation, all right, and find peace within yourself, then you'll always be harsh to others, not just by judging them harshly, but also in action. People who have accepted themselves, all right, they have transcended that negativity, then they tend to experience themselves at a much deeper level. They find peace, they find love, they find kindness more easily. And as a result, they are likely to treat or judge others in a much more positive way. So years down the line, now I look at myself and I'm able to reflect and see just how much progress I have made in terms of limiting how much I judge others. I still judge others, okay, that's an admission, an open admission, right? I still do, but I look at the intensity and it's down to the minimum, all right? And I want to share only two major strategies, all right? They could be more, that help me to counter that negative narrative about others in my mind. And one thing that I often say to my mind in order to tone down the amount of judging others harshly is that may I be judged by the same standards that I judge others. Because I'm just walking down the road and I'm meeting this stranger and my mind just wants to judge whether they look good or bad. That was a major problem back then. My mind would jump into conclusion whether they look good or bad. And I said, what a horrible thing to do, to judge others based on how they look. And so when I became conscious about that and I wanted to change that, I would make sure that each time I found my mind saying that about someone, I would simply apologize in my mind and say that, hey, I'm really sorry, all right? I'm sorry for having thought that about you. And I would say to myself that for me as well, there is someone who could potentially judge me. And if I judge others harshly, may I also be judged by the same harsh standards that I'm judging others based on their look. And that would often put the mind in panic. And the mind would say that, no, I don't want to be judged by the same standards. And in that way, I was able to start containing my mind from wandering and thinking harshly about others. And still related to that, something that I often do is often try to see someone as another person's child, okay, whether it's an adult, okay, I try to see them as a child of another person. And this other person, alright, their parent is truly, truly proud of them, and they're the best thing that ever happened in their lives. Given that they are someone who is treasurable to someone, why would I pass this harsh judgment onto something that someone else loves? If I had a child, would I want my child to be judged negatively simply by a random stranger that they have met on the road and calling them ugly and thinking that they are not worthy just based on the type of work they do or how they have dressed or how they talk, right? Or the defects that they have on themselves. And so by looking at people as someone's child, I'm able to withdraw that statement and that strong conviction to judge them. Would I want my child, if he or she left home and went to a foreign country, would I want them to have peace and have a good life? Yes, I would want them to have that. I have to apply the same to me, that if I encounter a stranger, I have to give them all the courtesy that they deserve. In that way, I'm just giving them the good experience and being a protection to the people who cherish them, wherever they have come from. And the second very effective strategy that I use is to say that they are better than me. Okay, I like to say that everyone is better than me. The child is better than me. The adult is better than me. You who is watching this, you are better than me. Okay, by saying that everyone is better than me, it eliminates the need to compete. Just by saying that someone is better than me, it does not mean that I don't know my worth. Of course I know my worth, but I'd rather not engage in comparison, all right, comparing my worth to another person and trying to make it superior in order to feel even more worthy. That is not the type of thing that I want to do. I know my worth, and all I can say is that it's incomparable to another person. And so I'm just more comfortable saying that, hey, everyone is better than me. Everyone I encounter is just better than me. And that gives me a peace of mind and takes away that resolve to try and judge others. So if my mind instantly jumps into conclusion about someone, I totally change the narrative and say that, hey, that person is better than me. And I convince myself that they're better than me. And in that way, I'm able to respect them regardless of the social or appearance or financial status that they are in. I just feel that I'm able to merge with them more easily because I'm not coming in from a point of ego. And this is something that you'll often encounter, is that when you're experiencing new people, you are going to meet people with their egos, even with the people that you know, including family, friends, and so on and so forth. Their ego is going to come to the surface. And while interacting with them, for example, at work, you'll just see them behaving in a type of way that suggests that, hey, it's not right. You just have to be smart and recognize that it's the comparison meter, all right? The compare meter that people use to compete against each other has been triggered. They have seen something about you, either the way you look, either the way you talk, either the way you're calm and carry yourself. And having done that comparison, they have seen that you are more of a threat, right, subconsciously. And so they are behaving in this way simply because they have perceived you as a threat to their ego. And also, you are more intimidating to them. So what you have to do is not to play along with them, all right? Whenever I find myself in such situations, I subconsciously find a way to indicate to someone or to communicate to someone that, hey, I am not the threat that you think that I am, okay? And in that way, eventually they become more calm and they stop behaving in that agitated way that they're behaving in your presence. You just by subtle actions in the way that you respond to that energy will be able to tell them that, hey, brother or sister, I am not the threat that you think that I am. Sometimes you just have to be silent, and simply by being silent and observing and being calm and unbothered, that helps to tone them down, and then they feel that, hey, there's no threat here, and then things get back to normal. You can dissolve a lot simply by learning the virtues of humility. Humility does not mean that you don't stand up for yourself. No, it means that you avoid engaging in battles that don't add any worth to you. To quote one of the sayings from Jesus, where he says that he that desires to be the greatest, let him be the least amongst you. That is, you don't achieve greatness by being aggressive and being all over the place. The one who most humbles himself is able to learn the greatest virtues. He doesn't need to do much work because the sort of influence that he has on people itself will uplift him onto greater heights, and he will become a great person. Not that being great should be your goal, right? Just be who you are. And that is it for now. If you have watched up to this point, I'm really grateful. And be sure to like, be sure to subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, and comment as well. I hope to see you on my next video, and have a great time.